Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible? Yes. So hello. Let's begin. Am I audible? Yes. So this is the session 3 and we have covered about VBA introduction, ranges, cell, till yet. Now we are going to cover worksheet in session 3. Since we are building your base, so you need to be very careful whenever you are writing the program. So in this lesson we are going to deal with every kind of worksheets, and we will tell you how you can control the worksheet from the backend, how you can insert the worksheet, how you can delete the worksheet, how you can rename the worksheet, how you can copy the worksheet, and so on. So let's begin. Here we have Excel file and we are going to open our VBA editor, press Alt F11 like this. Now we are going to insert our module. In last session, I have told you how to write subroutine. For example, I am writing my example number 1. So open the parentheses, close the parentheses and enter. As you can see, everything has in proper case. So my code is correct. Now we need to write our program between these two lines. Then it will able to run this program. Now let's run. Now let's talk about worksheet and workbook. Whenever you are talking about whole Excel file, then we will call it as workbook, and we will cover the workbook chapter in tomorrow session. Now in today's session we are going to cover the worksheet. Now thing to be careful, thing to be noted is, if we are talking about these kind of sheets, then we are talking about worksheet. So these sheets are called as worksheet. So let me insert my data, some random data I am inserting right now. Rand between I am using. So rand between helps you to insert random data from bottom to top, means between a range. So I am inserting from 10 number to 999 number and press Control Enter. So you can see my data has inserted. Now copy and paste special to remove the values, to remove the formulas. Okay. Now my data is this. Now what we need to understand here, we are going to understand the worksheet. So in last session we have selected our range. Now we are going to select our worksheet. So to understand the selection, we need to insert multiple sheets. For example, I am inserting 5 sheets here and I am going to write a code. Let's talk about last session. We have written this code, a1 dot select. Now what will happen if we will run this code? If we will, if we are on sheet 1 and we are going to run this code like this, you can see. So my code has run on sheet A1. What if I will go to sheet 5 and click on D6 and I will run this code? Then what is happening? So it is running on sheet 5. It means my the code is running on my active sheet. Now I want to run my code on specific sheet. So how we can do that? Just write a code like this: worksheet I'm writing everything in caps. Worksheet. Now sheet 1. Again I am putting a sheet name like A1 dot select. So you may write select or you may write activate. Generally we prefer activate in worksheet and workbook, but you may use select function also. Now if we will do this, now I am on sheet 5 and I have put my cursor on F4. Now let's run this code. What is happening over here? So run. As you can see, my code is running on the sheet 1 instead of sheet 5. So how it can help to you? Suppose you have multiple sheets and you want to refer a specific sheet, then you may write this code and you can refer that sheet. But thing to be noted here is, if we are writing anything on the top, means whenever we are writing, I have written two lines here. First is worksheet and second is range. So in the program, how it will run? Every time it will run first line, then it will proceed to second line. If you are going to cut this line and paste it to the down, now what will happen? Let's proceed. So I am on the sheet 5 or and I have clicked on H4. Now on the sheet 1 I am clicking on E4. Now let's run this code. So this time my VBA will run sheet A1, sorry, range A1 dot select on my active sheet, and for worksheet it will select after that this code. Now let's run. So it has selected my range A1. See, sheet 5 A1 has selected, and after that sheet A1 has executed. So this is the procedure to write a simple VBA. Now we have 19 and 20 examples in worksheet chapter, so we are going to cover those topics also. Now example 1, so you may call it as example 0 and we can call it as example 1. Now we have referred worksheet. Now my question to you is, what do you mean, or what is the difference between worksheets and sheets? Can anyone answer in the comment box? What is the difference between worksheets and sheets? We can wait for 1 minute, then we will proceed. So question is, what is the difference between worksheet and sheets? No. So let's insert a chart here. So F11 I am pressing, and after selecting your data, whenever you are pressing alt F11 key on your keyboard, then it will insert a chart sheet extra on your Excel file. Now whenever we are talking about worksheet, it means we are very specific on sheets. I am not considering this chart. So sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4 and sheet 5, you may call all the 5 sheet as worksheets. But whenever we are talking about all kind of sheets, then you may refer the name sheets. So VBA refer all the sheets in two types, worksheet or sheets. So if I'm going to select this chart 1, so chart 1, let's talk about chart 1. Now instead of sheet 1, I'm typing chart 1 here. Now you may see it will not work. Example 1 and run. Runtime error, subscript out of range. So it is not running because Excel does not consider chart sheet as worksheet. If I will simply write sheet like this, now let's run. So it has selected chart 1 sheet here. Now you may write chart instead of sheets. So it is again specific, run charts. So run, as you can see, chart 1 has selected. So run, example 1, run. So chart 1 has selected. So this is the difference between sheets and worksheets. Now what we have done, we have selected sheets and worksheets. Now let's talk about selecting multiple sheets together. Example 2. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to select sheet 1 and sheet 2 simultaneously. How we can do that in Excel when VBA does not exist? Just simply press Control key from your keyboard like this and click on sheet 2. So both sheet will be selected. Now how we can do this activity from VBA? So if I'm going to write this code, for example, now I am not using sheets worksheet. I am using sheets for every type of sheets. Sheets, sheet 1 dot select, and sheets, sheet 2 dot select. Now everything has organized in proper form, so it means I have written my proper code. Now what will happen if I will write this code? I have told you in 5 minutes back. So basically what I have told to you, if I will write this code, VBA will run this code first and VBA will run this code second. Now if I'm going to run this code, my sheet 2 would be activated. Sheet 2 has activated, but what if I want to select both sheets simultaneously? You need to write a false word between second line. It means the meaning of false is here. Please uh, take consideration of earlier line also. So run. Now you can see in the backend sheet 1 and sheet 2 has selected. So if you want to select multiple sheet, you can put false word in the all the line. For example, if you want to select sheet 3, then you may write another line, sheet 3 dot select and false. So this is the example for selecting multiple sheets. Now till now, if anyone has query, please ask. No questions? Now example number 3. Till now what we are doing, we were referring the sheet name, but user are more specific. If we will render this project to anyone, then user may change this name. Instead of sheet 1, he may write this sheet name as boss. Now if I will type again simple code sheet 1 dot select, since my sheet name has changed, so it is not going to work. As you can see, subscript out of range, so my VBA code is not running. Now I need to type boss here. Now it will run, and you can see boss has selected. Now what we can do to avoid these kind of situations, we can do indexing. So indexing is basically based on two types. First is sheet numbers. So we can count our sheet. So this is sheet 1, sheet 2. So whenever we are talking about worksheet, so this is worksheet 1, worksheet 2. So I'm talking about sheets. So sheet 1, sheet 2. So I need to type sheet 2, sheet 2 dot select. So it is going to select my sheet 2. Let me tell you, sheet 5 I'm selecting. Now run this code. Now run, and you can see sheet 2 has selected. So now my sheet is depending on the location of that sheet instead of name. So we can refer sheet number from these sheets to select our sheets. Now what if someone can move this sheet to here? User are more specific, since we are going to render this project to anyone. So user may shift this sheet to here to here. Now how we can deal with this kind of situation? So user had done two things. User have changed our name and moved our sheet. Now again, if I'm going to run this code, run. Now this time sheet 2 has selected because it is on the sheet, it is on the second number. Now how we can avoid these kind of situations? Example number 4. Now if you can see, if you will rename the sheet in the front end, but VBA don't change the name in the back end, see here, we have changed our name of sheet 1 as boss, and in the back end it is showing sheet 1. Instead of front end, we can take reference of back end also, like this, sheet 1 dot select. Since we have taken the reference of backend, so I'm not going to type any sheets, any number. I'm just taking the name, and I'm putting my method select. Now you can see sheet 1 dot select is going to select. Now in the front end it has selected. Now if user will change the name, I don't have concern. If user will change the movement, I don't have concern. Now what would be the next step? So we can add sheets by this code. How we can do that? Here we have worksheet dot add. So if we will use this code, it is going to add my sheet. So my boss is here and I have 5 sheet. Now run. Now it has inserted a sheet before the boss sheet 6. So whenever I'm going to select any sheet and I'm going to run this code, it is going to insert that sheet from before to my active sheet. So if I will run my code again to sheet 5, so it is going to insert sheet 7 prior to sheet 5. So this is the procedure to inserting a sheet. Now how we can control this active adding function? So if you will put open parentheses here, and you can see here we have lots of argument in this add function. Now before, if you want to add sheet before, so you may use before reference, and if you want to add after, so you may take the reference of after. How we can do that? So if I need to put space here, now as I have put the space, so it is again on the before. So if I want to insert a sheet after, so I need to skip this argument. How we can skip that? I just need to put the comma here, comma, and after. So after worksheet sheet 2. Now so I have written a code. Kindly add a worksheet after worksheet 2. Now run this code, and sheet 2 and sheet 8. Sheet 8 has inserted over after the sheet 2. So you may control your adding function from here to here. Now let's proceed to next example. Since this chapter has 19 or 20 examples, so this chapter is not going to complete today. This chapter will going to complete tomorrow. So this chapter is going to take 2 hour session, means 1 hour session, half hour today and half hour tomorrow. Now if we want to add a worksheet with a specific name, how we can do that? Now we can insert our sheet like this. So I'm going to delete this dot name equals raw data. Now again everything has auto capitalized, so run. So you can see sheet 10 has inserted raw data has inserted in the front end. So you may control the addition of your sheets from the back end to front end like this. Now let's proceed to next chapter, next example. Now if I want to insert, for example, 10 sheets, how we can do that? If we will refer this function once again, space, here you can see before, after, count, type. So if you want to insert your sheet before the specific sheet, you may refer before. If you want to insert your sheet after a specific sheet, then you may refer after. If you want to insert multiple sheet, you may refer count, or any kind of sheet types like chart 1, worksheet. So you choose type. For example, I'm going to insert a 10 sheet after raw data sheet. So worksheet raw data. Now comma, now count 10 sheets. So it is going to insert 10 sheets here, as you can see on the screen. Sheet 20 is the last, so 10 sheet has inserted. I don't need to do anything with this insertion, so just VBA is controlling from the backend, and I'm going to able I'm going able to add all the sheets. So let's proceed to next example. Till now, if anyone has query, please ask. Should we proceed? Okay, we can proceed further. So we are going to take a last example for the day. If we want to delete our worksheet, for example, I want to delete the sheet 2. So just simple method, worksheet dot delete. Now we have not given any name here, so Excel will confuse which worksheet you want to delete. So you need to refer the name sheet 2. Now it is going to delete my sheet and run. Now when I'm going to run this code, Excel has enable a pop-up window for me. Would you like to permanent delete this sheet? Do you want to continue, delete, or cancel? Now some if we will render this project to user, what will happen if he will click on run button and this pop-up window will come and he will get confused whether to delete the sheet 2 or not. So what to be done with sheet 2? Should we keep it? Should we delete it? He does not know because he has not written the program. Now how we can disable this pop-up window? Suppose someone has already changed the sheet earlier, then how we can come to know sheet name later? So basically in that case what we are generally programmer generally do, programmer restrict everything when we are rendering any kind of project to users. So programmer generally knows, programmer insert a sheet from the backend and it has a specific name. If you are going to refer a specific name, then it is basically not difficult to know the earlier name. Whenever you are talking about user sense, it is difficult, but whenever you are talking about in programming sense, it is not difficult. Now I am going to disable this pop-up window here. Close. How we can do that? Just like type these two lines, application dot display alerts, now false. Now it will disable my all pop-up window, any kind of pop-up window, saving any kind of pop-up window, it will disable. Now if I will run this code, so it will simply delete my sheet 2, it will not ask me. Now you can see. Now if you want to enable your pop-up window once again after completion your code, what programmer generally do, programmer deactivate the pop-up window in the front line of the code, and at the end it again activate that line. Suppose I am copying this, paste and true. Now in the front end, in the earlier section, it will disable the pop-up window, it will run your code and again it will activate. So user does not, even user will not know how what has happened in the backend. So run. Now sheet 2 is not there, so we are not going to run this sheet. So sheet 3 this time and run. So sheet 3 had deleted and it has not asked me anything. So we have completed our deletion part, addition part. Still lots of things to do with the sheets like movement, copying, how we can insert the sheet at the end of the all the sheets. So we have lots of topic still remain. So if you have any doubt, you may ask. So we are going to cover these kind of topic by tomorrow. If anyone has doubt, please ask. Okay, so I am disconnecting. You may post your doubt after this video in the comment box. I will surely answer all the comments.